Ooh, hello there, my fellow theme park designers. Good times with Scar here, and welcome back to Sci-Fi versus the Wild West. And we're down here in the Scott Canyon roller coaster project, which is now complete. We are open for business, guests are enjoying the attraction, and what we need to kind of focus on in the future here is, of course, expanding the ridership of this attraction. Our queue is brimming to the brim full of guests getting excited about Scott Canyon, and I'm excited about it. Look, we have another car going across the Trestle Bridge. Let's zoom in a little bit and watch the explosion. So, of course, in our last episode, we built these little theme areas, little mining kind of camps and things along those lines, built along the actual, there it goes! Isn't that awesome? There we go. That is very beautiful. So we have these cowboys in a little gun battle up here, you know, fighting over the gold. And I've added some extra little details here and there. And then right, of course, over here, you know, just more little like tunnels going deep into the canyon, some extra little expansion areas. And of course, on this side, we have some cranes and other things. And yeah, I think it's coming out really, really cool. And what we need to do is expand it. We need more vehicles on the tracks. So I need to go through the comments again and gauge what you guys have in terms of ideas. Now, one of them right off the bat I thought was super simple was putting a block station that you had mentioned right there. So when the car leaves the station, another one can head right in and prepare for that section to be unblocked so it can move on. So we're definitely going to work on that because the queue, like, I can't expand this queue anymore. Look at this. Look at all the peoples. They're so excited. Like, this guy's got his cowboy hat on, official, you know, Scott Canyon roller coaster merchandise, which is amazing. This poor cast member is like, I can't keep up. I love it. I love this too much. So the queue is looking great. I mean, we work super hard on all of that. So I'll continue to add more theme as we kind of go along, but we definitely need to move on today and work on some other things. But I'm just so happy. And like in the comments, how many scars do you give this attraction? So out of 1 out of 10, how many scars does this attraction deserve? I give it 8. I give it 8. I'm really proud of it, but it definitely needs more theming. So that's why it's like a, you know, a little low. So maybe like a 7, maybe a 7, because it could use like a boat or something along those lines down at the bottom. But I think it came out pretty awesome. But it's time to move on. We've got our, you know, our log ride over here, and we've got our roller coaster on this side, a small little town here. But this is a kind of a neglected area of our park. We have our original food court area. We have our train, and tucked in this little corner we have Gears of Fear, and of course there's not one person in the line, which just makes me really sad, to be honest. Like, we worked hard on this. We got all these cool little effects. It was themed towards a mad scientist creating a mining machine of his dreams. And unfortunately, nobody's here anymore. So we need to make this part of the park great. And we need to think in terms of like, what can we use to expand the area out? So this area back here is something that I've been considering, maybe an old Western wooden roller coaster. But what do we theme that wood roller coaster to? I like to keep a theme for each attraction. I just don't want to add a ride for the heck of it. I wanted to have a proper theme in place within the overarching design of the world. And, you know, each thing has like a little bit of a story. Like back here, we have a really nice kind of town built up here around Gears of Fear and things along those lines. We have expansion zones. Like, this is an expansion zone. Of course, you know, back in this corner, this is a huge expansion zone. And then there's little ones over here. There's one right here, here, and right there. So these are all places we can put different attractions for our needs. Now let's jump into the options. Let's go over to our rides, and we don't have a lot of attractions themed towards Western style. So the one we do is Gears of Fear. So other ones, you know, we have flight related, you know, sci-fi things. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to theme some of these around our own. So we're gonna have to take some of these and make them our own. So with the bumper derby, I got a great idea for this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna build a barn around it. I've talked about that before. Now you guys had thrown a great comment at me in our last episode was use, you know, like a fort theme, and that's great because it's perfect. We can just wrap like an old Western fort around one of these circular attractions. I think would be really cool. Now picking the right one, like, I don't think a Sky Ace would be the best choice, but maybe something like these ones might actually work out really cool. And Planet Coaster peeps out there, please, can we have a haunted mansion? I want a haunted mansion. Oh, it would be so great to have a haunted mansion. So hopefully they create that someday. But yeah, we'll take one of these guys, create that. Now the question is for you guys, help me come up with some other ideas to fill in these areas, like right here and there, and of course a theme for that old Western wooden roller coaster. So let me do a little more brainstorming. Help me come up with some of those ideas, and we'll be right back. We now have a solution. So in the direct center there, you can see that the land is all roughed up and ugly because I've been flattening the terrain and moving our train ever so slight. It's like back in '94 when they moved the monorail at Disneyland. We were out there, we were looking out of our hotel window, and they were moving the monorail tracks for this new attraction of our imagination. I was so excited. And then a year later, going back to Disneyland and seeing this Indiana Jones ride after they moved the monorail, oh, it was so amazing. Oh, I don't know. Let's get going. I know. I'm a theme park geek. I know. It's weird. Anyway, let's do the bumper derby. Now, the reason I'm going to do the bumper derby is because it's so square and the roof line can be really themed towards Wild West. We can make it all kind of browns and things along those lines that kind of fits in with the surrounding landscape color palette. So I think that'll look really, really nice. Whereas if we did one of these things, there would be a lot of lights and motion and stuff. And if we do it in a barn, we'll say this attraction, we could cover up all that stuff and it's not so sightly. Whereas this, you know, we can create, you know, a little bit more theme around that. And of course it's square, which makes it easier to fit inside of a square fort. So I'm going to place this. Let's find a perfect spot to place this. I think I'm going to do it kind of like right. Oh man, I'm nervous. I don't know where to place it. I think I want the most amount of room. So I think I'm going to go right there. There we go. I think that's going to look really nice. So the queue is going to stretch out to this direction and the exit potentially will exit out this way, I think, or we could even take the exit and, excuse me, got a little out of breath there. You know, so much excitement for theme park business. So the exit is going to attach right over here. So I think that's going to look really nice. And of course, I don't know. The question is, do we want to bring more life to this area? So what if that was the entrance that connected over here? It would be a really long queue, but if we did hook it up over there and the exit for this attraction's right there, so people might be more amped to take this attraction over to here where this attraction gets into the queue. So that's a thought right there. So I think, I don't know, we could decide as we kind of go along a little bit, but let's kind of go into how we are actually going to theme this attraction. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into our scenery theme. We're going to go to our western area. There we go. Oh man, this is going to be great. You guys are going to love this. So we're going to take our log. So I've been doing a bunch of testing, trying to figure out the best course of action for this. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start it like right there. I'm going to go X twice. Thank you for that suggestion. It saved my butt so many times. There we go. And then I'm going to pull this upwards to just about right there. Awesome. Okay, so now that's established. What we're going to do now is we're going to click on that and we're going to give it an advanced move and duplicate. And we're going to stretch that out. Just give it like a little bit of room in the center. There we go. So I'm going to click that down like that, okay? This is going to be time consuming because we're going to have to add individual pieces like this. We're just going to slowly like duplicate and move. Maybe we could get a little bit wild. Now hear me out on this. Potentially I want to kind of give it a little variety. So I'm going to move out that one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give myself another one right there. Very cool. So I'm going to give this one just a little bump, not a big bump, just a little bump. And then I'm going to move that like so. Awesome. See how we did that, kind of staggering the pieces? This reminds me of an old series on Stud Tech what we did where we built a Wild West fort in modded Minecraft and it came out amazing. There was another series where I never quite built the town that was originally anticipated to build. So I'm going to push this down here. I'm going to give that just a little bump downwards. There we go. So this is kind of a basic shape right there. Now we're going to jump over to our building tool real quick and we're going to give it a platform. That is right. Something that maybe we could even put a few cowboys on top of. And it goes back to what I was saying on stream the other day. Things that I want to see added to this beautiful game is, let me scroll down here real quick and find the platform that I'm looking for. Where is it? It's that lighter wood. There it is. There it is. So what I want to do now is I want to scale this up. So my thoughts are, what if there was like, you know, like an old army, you know, animatronic or like an animatronic that's revolving around like a bear or a moose or something along those lines would be really cool. It would add so much more life to the Wild West set because you would be able to create scenery and things along those lines. Might be really cool. I think I'd vote for the bear and the moose. Probably that's what I would probably want most was a bear and moose. Because I think that would look really, really cool over, of course, in our other area of the park where it's more of a nature area around our log ride. So see how I did that right there? Let me add one more block here. Let me take this and let me just give it a little scooch into there. Looking good. So this theme is what we need to do, and we need to create an entire kind of fort walls that go all the way around this. Now let's just look at this real quick and jump into our color palette. So remember I was talking about we can create some more kind of earthy browns and greens and oranges like this area. So why don't we see it? So the blue is this color across here. I'm just gonna give it a vague kind of color like that. And then the yellow is its secondary color. So I'm gonna give that a slightly darker tint. So something like that. Now this is a little, so this yellow right there is a little bit ugly. But something like that really helps kind of blend it a little bit more into the surrounding scenery instead of having those spinning rides with like all the crazy colors going. But I think we're getting there, guys. So give me some more time. Let me kind of map this out. We'll kind of build this section up, kind of use it as a template, and I'll be right back. And there we go. We now have our basic platform and the logs set up and ready to roll. And let's take a closer look here. So as you can see how each of the logs are slightly off center. So that kind of helps with the kind of rustic feel to it. We have the platform down here, which looks really nice. Now let's look at the platform over here. Now this is kind of the canopy of our rodeo kind of bumper cars design. And I think it looks nice. I think these kind of tones of the brown kind of go in with the rest of the land. It doesn't clash with anything. So that's kind of our goal, was to not have anything, you know, lime green or yellow. So I think that looks really nice. Now the question is, how do we take this and replicate it all around and also build towers and all sorts of other things? So that's what we need to figure out. So what I want to do is now take this wall and expand it up into all of these corners here. Now we're going to have the entrance on this side right here. So let's start building the entrance and kind of brainstorm together a little bit. So let's start with this. There we go. And let's just kind of give this thing a little bit of length. There we go. So just, hey, hello, you're very thin. Let's give you a little bit more thickness. There you go. So if we kind of pull this out straight, so we can do like a nice little front section, and maybe we can kind of bend this around, and maybe we can have a couple little fun details on this side over here. Maybe we could do some, you know, carts and stuff along those lines. So have some Conestoga wagons and things along those lines that might be parked out in front of an actual fort. So then let's pull this like right here, just slightly off from this part right there. So it's not directly in the center right there, and we'll open it up right there. There we go, looking good. And then we'll take out this bench, get rid of that. There we go, that is looking really nice. So we'll have this general kind of slope to this, and we'll jazz this up with all sorts of fancy little features. And here comes the train, looking very beautiful. So I think that looks good. Now you might be wondering, what about that exit scar? Now that's a good question, my friend, because I don't know what I'm gonna do with that yet. It's like, I don't know what to do with that yet. So what I'm going to do for sure is I'm going to build it out this way, and I'm going to call that good for now. Just kind of establishing the lines so that we can kind of, you know, organize the walls around that. So now that we have that, it's a good place to start from. So my thoughts are, like I said, bring the walls out here. We'll do some towers on either side, and then maybe like a water tower, things along those lines around here. Over this part, do a little kind of wagons, covered wagons, Conestoga things along those lines in that area. I think could look really cool. So let me start figuring out how to build this all the way around there. That's going to be painstaking, but I think it'll be well worth the effort. Welcome back, and as you can see, we now have some walls sticking up looking super awesome. So trying to create something different in the area that isn't just a wall, something just a large mass of logs across. So my thoughts are that we're going to add 2 towers on either side and do something like our Minecraft fort, and potentially make a little commander's quarters in the back. Potentially we'll think about that. So in terms of this area right here, let's zoom in and start kind of brainstorming some ideas. So originally I was going to do logs, kind of logs, and then do some other material at the top. But I think, like I said before, I don't want just this mass of that lightish gray log all the way across. We need something to diffuse the design a little bit and really have something that really catches the guest's eyes from a distance. I don't know if they actually get there, you know, that they can see like that through the AI of the game, but at least in my mind they do. All right, so let's get started here. First thing I want to do is I want to line this up like right somewhere right there. I think would look good. Oh wow, I was way off. Good thing I backed up a little bit. So something like that I think is a good starting point. And let's move this up 3, that's 4 blocks, okay? So then we'll swoop this back over here and we'll do something very similar on that side. Now this is just a test, my friends, just to see if we're anywhere near where we need to be with this. So we'll pull that up another 4 blocks. I think we still need to add just an extra piece here and a little bit right there. Okay, let's zoom it back a little. That's it. There we go. Once we add our extra little details and designs on the outside of that, potentially something on the back, that's a great contrast pop. It definitely gives the area a little something extra visually. Also, I forgot about the exit. I just spruced up the exit here, added a little bit of detail, and of course made the pathway connect to this area. I think this part looks really nice as it kind of flows down there. I think that looks really cool. Okay, so let's see if this lines up. I think I did it right. Yes, I did. Perfect, perfect. So then let's do this, and I think that was 4. There we go, looking really cool. So my thoughts are for this is how do we make this look a little bit more detailed? We don't want just these giant, you know, towers sticking up. It's like Tom Sawyer's Island at Disneyland's Fort Wilderness is awful. You know, they turned it into a phantasmic area for, you know, pre-show stuff, and the towers got rotten out, so they rebuilt it in this ugly form. It almost kind of looks like that, but we're going to do it right here, guys. We're going to do this right. So let's do this backside over here. And my thoughts are with this is I'm trying to figure out how we can make something kind of like a nice point at the top. Now, when I built this in Minecraft, we had micro blocks at the time, which made life so much simpler. But let's just kind of look at the roofs. Let's go over the roofs and kind of see where they can kind of take us. There's not a lot of options, but maybe this wood roof right here might actually look pretty cool. I don't know. It doesn't quite have enough of a rustic feel to it. I wish there was more of a pyramid shape, and I don't think we have that option, unfortunately. So something like this, I think, could look decent. Potentially, we could do our own custom roof, and I'm kind of leaning towards that. I have some ideas in that terms, just in case there is all other avenues have failed us. I think we can totally do that. So I think that's looking very good to start with. So let me add some more details around here and wrap these walls all the way around the front. Welcome back, and we have some progress and some great ideas for the top of the tower. So I removed 2 of the blocks on that left-hand tower. We're gonna kind of redesign it. Now I also have the logs outstretched on either side there, so that's looking really good. Now, one thing we need to contend with, and let me zoom up here and show you guys, is that this thing is gigantic, way bigger than I anticipated. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna select the whole thing and we're gonna lower it into the ground, so it's a little bit more in scale with the town and all the different buildings around here. So I think that'll look really, really cool. So first thing we need to do is we need to select this piece right there, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see if I can pull it. There we go. So I wanna pull it outwards like that. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of, oh, that looks really cool. But I think this is kind of where I wanna go, somewhere in this realm, like right there. But I wish there was something like in between this and that. That would be perfect. So it's not there. I think that's gonna be okay. I think that's gonna be okay. But what I wanna do is I want this to be out 1 block. It's not letting me. It's not letting me. There it is. That's what I want right there. I want it outside of this section, so it gives it a little bit more dimension. So I'm gonna pull that block out and see if I can give it just a little clicky. Come on, buddy. Come on. There you go. Awesome. So let's work on this little section right here. This little piece needs a little bit of loving down there, and let's check the scale one more time. I think that's good. Now we also need to remember that there will be, like, you know, some type of roof line up there. I'm gonna get some perspective. Oh geez, no! Hashtag Scar's the best camera operator ever. I don't know what it's been lately, but for some reason, my camera has just been freaking out and I get launched into Planet Coaster's atmosphere. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. Okay, so I'm sorry about that. I think this is looking decent. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna try just a couple extra little things and we'll just see where they take us. Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that so much. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's really good. I still wish this was half a block. I wish I could take a little cutter and just cut off this piece right there. Is there any way of doing that? Let's brainstorm this for a second. I finally got it. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take this piece right here. I'm gonna duplicate that. I'm gonna swoop it on over here if I can get it to work. There we go. So now this one right there also needs to be pushed outwards by 1 block. Can I get it? There you go. Awesome. So then I'm gonna take this one right there. I'm gonna give that 1 more duplication, but I'm gonna do that increment here like so. See, pushing down the shift key can give us that extra fine control. There we go. Look at that. Oh, that's the scale we were looking for. So we still remember, need to put something on the top. But I like that. That's really nice. Now, if we can take this, I don't know if this will work. I'm going to reapply this. Where did it go? There it is. Okay, so lowering this down. I love that because it gives us those little cross pieces at the top. Now, the only concern with this is this bottom section that I'm not a huge fan of. I wish, like I said before, I could just cut these little extra pieces off, but let's pull this back down. There we go. Oh, I love that. That's so cool. All right, let's cut that off. And then maybe, I don't know, let's just get a little wild. Let's just get a little wild real quick. I'm just gonna see what happens if I remove that piece. Okay, this might be, no, I lose that center column. How can I get around that? See, I removed this piece and I lost that. What if, just real quick with me here, let's take this, let's push it out. There we go. And then, yeah, no, that's it. We can do it. Oh, that's so good. That's so good right there. We'll take that one more time. Oh, I'm getting excited. I get excited when we start coming up with the ideas. When they start flowing, I get excited. There it is. That's the design. So give me a few minutes. Let me figure out what we're gonna do for that ceiling, roof, line, whatever it is. I'm so excited. Welcome back, and we're riding on the train here. I haven't done this in a while. There's so much incredible detail built into these trains with the benches and the speakers modeled after the Disneyland Railroad, which is really, really awesome. Now, I do have to apologize because it's been some time since our last clip. Now, I had a medical thing that kind of came up, and I had to do most of the work off camera, so I apologize about that. And I can't wait to show you what we've accomplished there. And oh, look, you can see the logs from here. Oh, that's a cool little scene right there. I like that. Anyway, let's jump off here. And this is our fort. Doesn't it look amazing from a distance here? Look at all of our guests super happy about coming over here, but let's zoom in and look at the beautiful entrance with the bunting around the sides. We've got even a cowboy shooting with a little gun battle down here by a TNT and cannon pile. So as you can see, this guy shoots down here and explodes the barrel, looking very beautiful. And just general supplies and fruits and different things along those lines. And as you can see, all of our little cars buzzing about inside. And it is time to open the ride. So let's open that up, set and ready to go. I think that's gonna look really cool. So let's look around. So we've got some little cranes delivering boxes and stuff. I'm still trying to fit some details in the interior, so I still wanna work on that a little bit more. And then on the back side over here, I think this looks really nice. Added a bunch of trees to make that kind of tie into the other area of the park, of course. Now, one thing I did to add just a bit more dimension to the walls, of course, was add some more logs. As you can see, just giving a little more variety. I might do that in the interior, of course, but I think that looks really, really nice on the outside. And of course, our train track was slightly diverted, so that gave us a little bit more room along here. And there's our first guest. Hello there. Hello. How are you, my friend? Rocking the camouflage and the blue pants. That guy is swagging. Oh my gosh, he's even got flip-flops on. Oh, that's pretty funny. And of course, we've got our covered wagons and some tents and some lights, of course, over there. Now, for the entrance, just some, I really wanted to make it like a trading, fort outpost. That's why there's lots of, supplies and different things like that all bundled up. I think that looks really nice. Just some pickaxes, shovels, and of course, cast member getting everybody in there. Look at that, a whole pile of people headed on inside. That's awesome. And yeah, I really like the design. I think this came out really, really cool. And of course, this is how you take, an attraction that isn't themed towards a particular style that you're looking for and just making it your own custom design. And that's what we did here. And that's what I love about taking Gears of Fear, even though that was Wild West themed, but customizing it in the own way that we want. So that kind of makes up for the lack of some Wild West attractions. And I think that's really cool. And it just kind of sparks a little bit more creativity in you when you have that extra challenge, an extra layer of complexity to try to make it into what you want. That brings out a good part of you, I think, and takes you in other directions that maybe you weren't anticipating. That's kind of what we did today. And I think for our actual towers, I think this helps kind of break up, the walls a little bit, so it's not all of the same. And some windows on the sides. And I'm thinking, I wish there was something, other little details I could put like right here. So I'm not 100% sure what that could be, but I'm very happy with the way those looked. Now, the one last thing before we head out, and if you are super awesome Scar and you've made it to the end of the video, give me a name for this particular ride that I can hang a sign off of here. So go hashtag ride name and then give me that name that you think this would be suitable for. So I would love to have that done. So you guys pick out a name for this, and until next time, this has been Good Times with Scar, and I always really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my videos. And if you believe the videos are rating, that would be much appreciated. And until next time, we'll see you later.